Hello, good morning, and also good evening to everyone on this call. My name is Stefan Krautwald. I'm the founder and managing partner of Latin Leap. Welcome to this session, which is a part of Colombia Tech Week. We are very happy to have you all in this call, and the next hour or so should be an interesting discussion on the connection between two regions of this world that have much in common, are very far apart from each other, but offer great learning opportunities. And this is Asia and Latin America. And we at Latin Leap, for those who don't know us very much, do two things. First is we are a venture capital firm investing in the early stages of technology companies in Latin America, specifically focusing on Colombian talent, which is expanding into markets such as Mexico on the one hand. And on the other hand, Latin Leap is focused on the connection, on the tech side of things between the emerging markets in Asia and Latin America. In that sense, Latin Leap has been a partner of parts of the Singaporean government for many years already, and trying to identify companies from Southeast Asia that are looking to enter into the Mexican and Colombian market, for instance, as well as building a bridge, which we call TechBridge, a tech bridge where capital, talent, and ideas flow and travel from one side to another. And the next hour or so is about presenting this tech bridge and having key players of the ecosystem be part of the conversation. I'm very proud to announce that, as you've seen in the invite, that today we have two senior leaders, both from the Colombian side as well as from the Singaporean side, participating in this session, which for the first half an hour will be dedicated to these two keynote speeches, so to speak. I'll be introducing the speakers in just a little bit. And the later part of this session, which is the last 30 minutes, shall be centered on a panel where we have business leaders, investment leaders, ecosystem builders from different parts of Asia participating that have a specific view on Colombia and other parts of Latin America, and hopefully will be interesting for everyone to take out something from this discussion. A few words to myself. So for those that don't know me, again, my name is Stefan. I am of German origin, but have called Colombia home for the past 10 years already. I've spent the last 15 years in tech entrepreneurship in Latin America. Been fortunate enough to be able to co-found several tech businesses from Dafiti to Farmalisto, Flus, and others, and have over the years moved on from operating to investing. And I'm now heading this venture capital studio called Latin Leap, which is proudly represented both in Asia and Latin America. With that being said, I would like to introduce the first speaker of today's session, who has also a deep relationship with Asia and specifically Singapore. So for us, it was interesting to have Bruce McMaster, the president of the National Business Association of Colombia, participate today and share views on what he believes is the current situation on something that shall also be the theme of today's discussion, which is AI. So AI specifically, as we all know, is a word with is a very big word, so to speak. We have seen through our feelers in Asia that there's a lot to learn, and that innovation from this part of the world can benefit the leapfrogging of Latin America. So we are interested to have the view from Bruce on the state of the Colombian ecosystem and from his perspective, and will thereafter continue in the session. So Bruce, thank you very much for joining us. The floor is yours, and Welcome once again.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, and hello to everyone. As you said, good evening and good afternoon to everyone that is connected today. I have to say hello to Mr. Alvin Tan. He's the Minister of Singapore and Trade Industry and Culture. So we have a very good relationship with them, with him, with them, in meaning Singapore. And let me tell you why. There are many reasons why. Maybe I don't know if you all know this, but Colombia has really close ties with Singapore, and maybe one of the ways through which that alliance has been concreted is through the what we call the Pacific Alliance Free Trade Agreement with Singapore. As you all know, Pacific Alliance was created by 4 countries, meaning Mexico, Colombia, Peru, and Chile. And then with that specific group, we signed a free trade agreement with Singapore, which is a collective free trade agreement, which makes a lot of sense. And at the same time, we did have, and we created a specific alliance with the Singapore Business Federation, Andy and the Singapore Business Federation, which is in a way the declaration of that we really are interested in going deeper in the relationships and creating new ways of supporting each other, not only with technology, but also as gateways, just to get into both markets. That was done in August 2023. As a matter of fact, the Minister Tan came here to Colombia. We signed at that time the MOU. And we had him at our national assembly, which was in Cartagena, and he had the opportunity to address himself to these 2,000 entrepreneurs and business people that are part of the Andy. Maybe I would like to add at this point that for Andy, digital transformation is one of our pillars. Like 8 years ago, we decided to create a specific vice presidency dedicated to give tools, to give the examples, to bring benchmarks, to bring opportunities for Colombian companies in order for them to go deeper into the digital transformation, but not only go deeper, but go faster. And that means that Andy has for its affiliates and a specific a branch of the association that is dedicated just to bring baby best practices into the floor and give them the opportunity just to adapt them and adopt them. So that was done, as I mentioned, 8 years ago. And as the world has changed and has created and has developed through the AI, sorry, to the IAE, that it means that artificial intelligence for us is really one of the focus on which we have been working for during these years. And I don't know if you know, but next week we're gonna have again our big summit, our big assembly, and we're bringing one of the or some of the most expert in the world's experts, just to give us ideas, to show us how everything has been developing, and well, and I have the opportunity and the chance to ask them, well, how can a country like Colombia go a little bit faster, trying to reach these specific objectives? We think Colombia has a specific position and a very valuable position for investors Asian investors that want to go into and to want to come into Latin America. We have several reasons why we feel that we have the advantages and we have the qualifications just to be considered the gateway to get into Latin America. Not only because we are located in terms of geography in a very strategic situation, in very strategic position, but also because we have a lot of trade channels that had been already opened through all America, all over America, not only with the States, but also with the United States, but also with some other countries and the European Union that give us the ability, in case someone wants to be located here, then we do have the access. But at the same time, we do have some other advantages I would like to highlight. One of them is the talent, no doubt. And Stefan is located in Medellin. Medellin is maybe one of the most important hubs all over the continent. And I would like to say that is really important in terms of identifying through which city, through which state, through which country you decide to go to this specific market, which is a different market, definitely. But it's also a market which is expanding, and it's a market that is growing, and it's a market that is showing good results. So we do think that digital connectivity, digital government, digital talent, digital economy, and digital ecosystems are the pillars which give us the possibility of offering a good getaway, a good path in case you wanna be present in Latin America. The other important thing that I would like to mention is that the entrepreneurship environment is really vibrant in terms of a lot of people thinking, a lot of people doing, a lot of people creating, a lot of people struggling just to get into success with their entrepreneurships. This means that we have a lot of people thinking and trying to be successful in the country, and we have had really good examples of projects that had became not only big projects but unicorns. That at the end of the day are like in a way like the main objective we do have. So for us it's very important. The other branch on which, or the other aspect on which we have been working just to create the conditions and to habilitate and to give really opportunities to the project is what we have done in terms of regulation. Colombia has definitely governments of Colombia, not only the actual, but the former governments have created conditions in terms of a favorable regulatory environment for entrepreneurs and for entrepreneurships. We have pro-investment policies. We do understand that maybe with a good environment, with a good ecosystem, we're able to offer and to be successful and to offer conditions for people to be successful. So that is something we have which we have working. The other aspect on which we have been working is the funding. For us, we all know that maybe one of the biggest barriers for entrepreneurs at some point is financing. So the conditions Colombia has created not only for the government itself and for big companies, but also for entrepreneurs, has shown that at the moment, many of the projects located here have been able to get funds from the most sophisticated financial markets. And that is not for free, that is not just a coincidence. It's because there are many conditions, regulatory market conditions, and in a way conditions created by the government that gave us the opportunity to be the third largest region in terms of entrepreneurial capital in the region, after Brazil and Mexico. And so anyone that comes here should be or should have access or should have the opportunity to be taken into account by international funds and by local funds. No doubt we have a lot to do in this specific field. We feel Colombia needs to go a little bit deeper in trying to get instruments, financial instruments to the entrepreneurs, but that is something that is taken into account by every government and by a lot of people from the private sector. We have a lot of startups. We have a really strong network. We have some of the most important and best qualified universities in the whole continent. As a matter of fact, in Bogota and Medellin, you can find, and Cali, you would be able to find some of the most important universities and best qualified. We have another habilitating conditions like the nomad visa that allows people that wants to be here creating or being part of this digital nomad environment to apply to it, and it's really easy to do it, and just as a fact, you will find a lot of people in Medellin using this specific ability and using this specific way of being here at the country. Finally, I would like to say that we have a very well prepared and talented ecosystem. I would say that is very cost effective in terms of having a lot of good and really in terms of high standards, quality of the talent. But at the same time, we do have, given the fact that we are not that such an expensive country, we can give good conditions for people to come here, and so well, I didn't mention, but the skilled tech talent that is created in Colombia can be measured by a specific point that is that we have annually we have more than 13,000 STEM graduates, which no doubt is a very valuable tool that is the base of one of the bases for being a good opportunity. So just to summarize, we do have the best relationship with Singapore. For us, is like our gateway to Asia. We do have the agreements. We have been working with the government of Singapore on one hand. On the other hand, Colombia is really interested in being very competitive in this sense and in this specific area. We're doing our best efforts just to be really qualified as maybe the best place to be located in Latin America if you wanna start startups, or you wanna locate your startup. We have a lot of things to do, but we have reached very good results in terms of financing, talent, and regulatory, and I would say in terms of legal ability to be here in Colombia. So thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Minister. For us, Andy, we wanna be part of these initiatives, and we wanna strengthen them in order to be successful and in order to be more effective, and just to show really concrete results as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruce. Very interesting insight. It's great to see that private sector in Colombia is betting on the relationship with Singapore and other actors in Asia. Effectively, we agree on the message of collaboration and the ties that are being created on multiple levels help in the end to foster innovation. And I think this is where all their we remember those who have been at the Andy Congress last year in Cartagena. Remember the words in Spanish of Minister Alvin Tan. It was very impressive. So Moving on here, we would like to hand over the word effectively to the Minister of Trade, Minister of State, Trade and Industry of the Republic of Singapore, which is Alvin Tan, who has been many times to Colombia and to other countries in the region before. Alvin has kindly pre-recorded a message due to the time difference to Singapore earlier on. So we will be displaying the message right now, and thereafter we continue. So please.
Mr. Stefan Kortwald, founder and managing partner at Latin Leap. Mr. Bruce McMaster, president of ANDI. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Gracias por la calida bienvenida. Es un placer estar aquí en esta reunión que reúne a algunas de las mentes más brillantes en inteligencia artificial. Aunque no habla español con fluidez, espero que me permitan continuar en inglés. Greetings from Singapore. My thanks to Stefan for inviting me to speak at this event to launch Latin Leap's new TechBridge initiative to connect the Latin American and Asian innovation ecosystems. At the 8th Andy Colombian Business Congress in Cartagena last year, I had the opportunity to share Singapore's story of economic development and our ongoing efforts to harness innovation-driven growth. Allow me to share that story with you. In fact, 59 years ago this month, when Singapore became independent, we had no domestic industry and no resources. We relied on others for food, for energy, and water. In fact, our most urgent priority then was to create jobs by focusing on export-led industrialization and also to attract global MNCs to invest in Singapore. Over time, we slowly moved up the value chain and we evolved from a labor-intensive economy to a capital and skills-intensive one. We built infrastructure, developed industrial land, and invested heavily in education. Then, in 1985, we fell into recession while the global economy continued to grow. It was a wake-up call for us, which revealed some of our structural challenges, and that includes a diminishing cost advantage and the reality of our small size and our resource constraints. The 1985 recession made us rethink of how we should grow and how we should reform our economy. So we decided to promote innovation, enterprise, and entrepreneurship. And over time, we expanded our research capabilities in our universities and research agencies. We scaled up the platforms to drive tech translation, and we also helped our companies become more innovative. We also placed a strong emphasis on translating research into commercial outcomes. Singapore is an improbable nation, which will disappear if we do not innovate. That is our reality as a small and resource-strained country. But today, our innovation ecosystem continues to grow in size and dynamism. In fact, in 2023, the World Intellectual Property Organization, or WIPO, ranks Singapore as the world's 5th most innovative economy on its annual Global Innovation Index. In Singapore, there are currently more than 30 unicorns, over 4,500 startups, and close to 400 venture capital firms here. And 80 of the world's top 100 tech companies have a presence here in Singapore. But this did not happen overnight. In fact, it took decades of commitment, investment, and hard work. It has been a journey of trial and error, and we learned many lessons along the way. And we continue to work hard at keeping Singapore at the forefront of innovation and to help our companies thrive and compete globally. Ladies and gentlemen, Singapore will continue to ride the AI wave. In 2019, we were one of the first countries in the world to publish a national AI strategy and the first in Asia to establish a model AI governance framework. What did this framework do? Well, it essentially created a regulatory environment in Singapore that supports AI experimentation and innovation. Today, our universities are internationally recognized for their expertise in natural language processing and also computer vision, as a result, partially, of this AI governance framework. And we are also seeing AI's impact across the various sectors in Singapore. For example, in healthcare, AI is helping to detect and diagnose diseases very early. And in our financial sector, AI has also demonstrated how it can transform the sector. From detecting fraud to providing better customer service, it is helping and enabling our financial institutions to operate not just more efficiently, but also securely. In fact, just over a year ago, a consortium led by our central bank released what we call the Veritas Toolkit. The Veritas Toolkit is the world's first responsible AI toolkit that we developed specifically for the financial industry to provide guidance to firms offering financial products and services on how to use AI responsibly and how to use data analytics responsibly. Our public service tool has also used AI to improve productivity by using secure versions of large language models like ChatGPT for coding and for writing tasks. And to ensure that we have the talent and the people to capture this AI wave, we are doing all we can to grow our local tech workforce so that our companies can access the right talent to drive innovation within their companies. And these efforts include government initiatives to bring our universities to develop AI talents through real-world projects and help individuals transition into new or even more complex tech roles. But like many of you, we are also aware of the downside risks of AI, just like any technology that's come before. We are thus investing in strong cybersecurity measures, including a mobile app to filter and to block scam SMSs and phone calls to protect against potentially evolving threats. We also recognize that we can't do this alone, so we are working with partners across the world to foster global collaboration in AI governance, so that we can set sensible rules of the road for AI, which we believe will enhance the way AI interoperates between governance frameworks, and it will also support cross-border innovation. The AI scene here in Singapore is growing rapidly, particularly in our AI companies and startups. Having said so many things, let me share a few examples to illustrate my point and run you through a few of these AI companies. First, WizAI. WizAI has an AI talkbot platform which enables companies to automate telephone and app-based voice conversations. WizAI, it powers this using its robust proprietary speech recognition and natural language processing engines. So they use this talkbot platform to analyze how we speak, so spoken voice data, and how to handle complex multi-round conversation and the intent of the conversation. This enables companies to automate the full landscape of how they engage with their customers and also push the boundaries of humanistic AI conversation for Southeast Asian languages. That's WizAI. Then we have Profile Print, another company which is AI-powered to help ingredient quality. It's an ingredient quality fingerprint platform that can rapidly analyze food ingredients like coffee, cocoa, and sugars in a matter of seconds. Profile Print helps companies to optimize their production processes and helps the companies save costs. In fact, Profile Print has signed commercial contracts with 3 of Brazil's largest food companies. Many of you will know these companies: Luiz Dreyfus, Olam Agricola, and Sucafina. They are helping these companies address the challenge of quality assessment in Brazil's food ingredient supply chain, and also to help these companies reduce their carbon footprint by minimizing physical grading and also sample shipments. There is also yet another company called AI Rudder. It is using AI to help companies improve the scale, the speed, and the quality of their customer interactions and to drive user satisfaction. In fact, AI Rudder's voice AI can make up to 200,000 calls per hour. You compare that to a human average of about 60 per day. And using this technology, AI Rudder has helped a buy now, pay later company boost payment collection rates and also a major e-commerce company to grow more orders. Finally, there's Kabam Robotics. Kabam Robotics integrates AI into its robotic systems to enable machines to perform complex tasks that are previously limited to human capabilities. Kabam uses AI to streamline manufacturing and logistic processes, and its robotic solutions have found global clients, including there in Latin America. So, what we are trying to do is to bridge Latin American and Asian innovation, and there is indeed much that we can learn from one another. As I had noted last year in Cartagena, Latin America's innovation ecosystem is thriving, and I saw this for myself. In fact, you have many global companies establishing new research and development and corporate innovation arms in the region, and I've also visited many of your rapidly growing number of successful startups, many venture capital firms, angel investors, and also accelerators. Like Asia and in fact many parts of the world, Latin America is also experiencing an AI revolution, with many of your startups using AI to address challenges in the areas of healthcare, finance, agriculture, and transportation. And there are a few which really caught my interest. Trey from Brazil, which collects agriculture-related data, analyzes that data with AI, and then breaks down capital risks for lenders, giving farmers easier access to credit. That's in the fintech space in Brazil. Then we have Demetria from Colombia, which is an AI-based data intelligence platform for the coffee industry to help increase the quality and also the traceability of coffee seeds and produce. And then we have Quintame from Mexico, which is a mental health platform that uses AI to measure stress levels and to provide personalized mental wellness strategies and access to specialized psychological care. So all of these are just good examples like the ones that I shared in Asia, and initiatives like TechBridge will connect both the ones that I've shared in Latin America and the ones that I shared in Asia, these two Asian innovation ecosystems together. My dear friends, we have and we will continue to learn from one another, bridging the lessons we learn from using AI and finding even more ways to work together. So once again, my sincere thanks to Latin Leap and Stefan for the opportunity to speak with you today, and my congratulations on the launch of your TechBridge initiative. Muchos gracias.
So we've all heard from the minister now. I believe as we can all conclude, a fervent supporter of the TechBridge initiative and developing the ecosystems of technology between Southeast Asia and Latin America. For all of those based out of Colombia who have not had the pleasure yet to visit Singapore and immerse into the ecosystem, there are several ways to do so, and we would hope to one day join and keep building these bridges. So next up, as we continue on this session, we shall start with a panel discussion with high-profile investors, business leaders, and ecosystem builders from Asia who have different degrees of familiarity with Latin America and interests. So I would like to introduce for this nature the leaders of this panel discussion, my dear co-founders in the initiative of the TechBridge that we have been discussing. So on the one hand, this is Nemesisa Ujjain, who goes by the short name of Nemo, based out of India. And Nemo has been one of the most vocal ecosystem builders in the tech world that I know in Asia, and is based in the world's most populous country, which, as we know, holds so many promises and potential, which is India. And the part of our TechBridge is obviously to include this country and its relationships to Latin America. So very happy for Nemo to be part in this discussion. And our other co-founder is Jaime Espinosa. Jaime is Colombian. Jaime and I have been knowing each other for many years. He has been a senior leader in open innovation, in fintech, has traveled extensively in the APAC world, and has both academic and entrepreneurial credentials all over Latin America in different industries, and has a very good vision on corporate innovation as well. So it's great for the both of you to be part of this conversation. I will hand over the word for you to introduce yourselves further and also introduce our panelists and continue the conversation. Please.
Thanks, Stefan. As you mentioned, my name is Jaime Espinosa, co-founder of TechBridge. And we truly believe at TechBridge that we can solve the organization's problem by tapping into the Asian ecosystem. We are bridging Latin America and Asian Pacific's technological future. And we're very excited to have this panel today, connecting Latam and Asia strategies in the age of AI. Please go on, Nemo.
Thanks, Jaime, and thank you so much, Stefan. Hi, everybody. This is Nemesisa or Nemo. I'm from India, as Stefan already mentioned, and it is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world now. Happy to join the Colombian Tech Week virtually, all the way from New Delhi. And as for my introduction, I have been working to support startups in India and across Asia since more than last 15 years. I have been an entrepreneur myself and have worked with many MNCs and Fortune 500 companies to run corporate innovation programs. I have also been running global accelerator programs and am passionate about helping startups grow beyond borders. Today, as the co-founder of TechBridge and the co-host of this discussion, it is my honor to welcome all the esteemed panelists who have joined us for this discussion on connecting LATAM and Asia strategies in the age of AI. So without much further ado, I will request and invite the panelists who have joined us from multiple different countries, like 5 countries today. And I would ask them to introduce themselves and also share your perspective on the ongoing AI revolution and what does this shift represent to you. So the first person I would like to invite is Mr. Gary Lowe from Singapore. Gary, can we have you on screen, please?
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Gary, and I'm from Singapore. Right, it's good to see everyone, or whoever is set on the camera. It's late in the evening in Singapore, so it's good to see everyone here, and I guess it's morning in Colombia. Just a quick background of what I do. I actually started my career as a finance person. So I was in finance for about 15 years before I set up my own family fund. And basically started to do investments. And one of my investments that I did was actually into a Fuji apple growing company in China. And that was my foray into the agriculture world. And having been in that world for about 10 years, I've learned a lot about agriculture. And basically, it's not changed very much for the past maybe 5,000 years. So what I did is created this company called Muto, which literally means digital transformation company. Muto in Latin means transformation or change. And we wanted to basically change the way the agri world works and build a system that I guess it's meant for someone who's in the trade, building a platform that is actually used by someone who actually knows what the trade is all about. And again, it's very much an AI-driven platform, primarily because it uses AI to check the fruits, look at all the documents, see all the data, and then be able to scale with this data that we have. So this is basically what I've done, and this is how AI has actually helped us scale the business so far.
Thank you so much, Gary. Next up, I would like to invite Mr. Santiago Pinzon from Colombia. Please introduce yourself and also share your perspective on the AI revolution and what it means to you.
Thank you, Nemisha. Well, good morning, good evening. Happy to be here. It's a great opportunity to share this kind of collaboration and co-creation between Asia and Colombia, obviously Latin America. As my boss says, my name is Santiago Pinzon. I'm the VP of Digital Transformation. Bruce mentioned that we create this special strategy from Adandi almost 8 years ago. So we are developing this kind of a strategy to help our company members and the government and the country as a whole to become a digital and innovative country. So we will build in on the specific strategies. And going to the specific question in terms of AI, I agree with everybody. I mean, we are in an amazing opportunity right now. It's also a challenge. There's a lot of discussion in terms of regulation. There's an opportunity in terms of e-commerce. There's opportunity to small, medium-sized companies. There's an opportunity for digital ecosystems. We just mentioned, or someone mentioned fintech. There's also the opportunity on edtech, govtech, you name it, all the last name on tech will be an opportunity here. We see that also in terms of how we can create a new talent. There's an ongoing discussion about the challenge that we can have in terms of the, the use of AI in terms of job loss or job creation. But we see it as an opportunity to create a new generation that obviously can develop solutions, products and services, for instance, to reach out and be able to, as a country, as a nation, and the entire planet, to achieve global development goals. Asia and obviously Colombia share that kind of objectives. So we can use AI in terms of prosperity to build a better quality of life, to improve productivity. And you see, and we have specific examples. Just to throw someone, there's a company that is member of Andy that his name is Arcangel, that is detecting cancer using AI. So that's just one example how you can change lives and you can transform obviously opportunities. And it's a company led by a woman, co-founder, Laura Velázquez. And you can see how you can develop solutions for the world from Colombia and obviously using AI. Building on that, obviously, there are challenges in terms of regulation. I agree what the minister just mentioned in terms of how you can develop specific frameworks so you can innovate and obviously spark entrepreneurship. That's probably something that we're going to discuss in terms of how we can learn from Asia and how, just to throw some specific data, right now in Latin America, you have around 200 potential laws to regulate AI. Colombia is debating 9. So it's first issue to cover is how we can collaborate and create a specific framework that develop AI in our country and obviously learn from your experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Santiago. Next up, I'd like to invite Mr. Debanil Mukherjee, who is from India and also Singapore. Please, Debanil, if you could introduce yourself and also your views on AI revolution. Please unmute yourself, Debanil.
Hi, Nimo. Can you hear me? Hey, hi.
Yes, we can.
I'm Debnil and joining you from San Francisco Bay Area. I'm the managing partner and the founder of Decacon Capital, which is a cross-border VC investing opportunity. We have been investing in deep technology startups, predominantly in America, United States, as well as in Israel, and besides being in LATAM and in Singapore. Our forays include deep technology investments like in space technology, removing debris from the space, as well as building company startups that are building payment rails across LATAM. I myself is a CPA by training and a serial entrepreneur and an investor, mostly focusing on tech-led disruptive innovation. As for the AI revolution, we believe that this is a generational opportunity where AI is probably where internet was in 1990s. And we are just getting started in the first innings of probably a 12 innings game, or we are at 7 p.m. in a party that would last into the wee hours of dawn. At the end of this journey, by say 2030, even we expect to see at least 20 trillion being added to the world GDP just through AI opportunities. Most of us are quite familiar with three legs of this opportunity, where there are these AI models like OpenAI, and then there are the hyperscalers who are making massive amount. Last that I could count, about $250 billion in capital expenditures over the next 2 years among the three main hyperscalers, the cloud computer facilities providers. And then there are startups who are at the bottom of the pyramid, making AI models or using AI models as wrappers. But there is a fourth player which is very intriguing, and that is going to be the sovereigns. And geopolitics is going to play an important role in AI. That's what we believe. There will be a lot of protectionism in this area, and every sovereign will therefore make a huge amount of investment in protecting their own digital records and digital data through AI, as well as transforming the nation in the next stage of the journey. In this, again, besides LLM, we are probably going to see some very interesting aspects coming up, mostly in form of GLMs as well as CLMs, and that's where I think some very interesting things will fold as we go along. Again, for us, it's a generational opportunity where internet was in 1990s.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Devanil. And also I hear that you will be visiting Colombia in the next 2 weeks. So apart from the couple of countries I mentioned, you also have San Francisco and Colombia on your itinerary. So
right.
starting with AI.
Out of 54 of our investments with 12 exits, we almost have like 65% of the portfolio today in America. And in 2023, we have made forays into investing into LATAM. And already we have 5 investments across LATAM, and one of the purpose of this trip is to actually visit some of them.
Amazing.
Welcome to Colombia. Nice to see you here.
Yep, sure. We will catch up.
Yes. So next up, I would like to invite Ms. Yani Lee from Taiwan. Yani, would you like to please introduce yourself and share your perspectives on what is happening in AI? And how do you think that shift is affecting the ecosystem in Taiwan?
Good morning, good morning, good evening, everyone. I'm Yani. I'm from Taiwan. I'm very happy to have an opportunity to join the event today. To be honest, this is my first time to get involved of the Latin America I've never been to. So I'm very excited. So first of all, let me introduce myself a little bit. Okay, I'm Yani again from Taiwan. I'm the founder of the News Builder, which is the accelerator in Taiwan. Since News Builder, what we want to do is to have the accelerating program to support the startups who have the potential to do the global business. Before that, I have been involved in the startup ecosystem building over than 15 years. At the beginning, I was working with the Taiwan government. So I'm very familiar with the government agency in Taiwan. After that, I have some opportunity to work in different countries in Asia. So because of that, so I am think to integrate the connection and resource of the startup ecosystem. So I want to support the startup, not just only Taiwanese startups, but also anyone who has the thought, potential, or the idea to have a business in Asia. We will want to be the platform to support them. And in terms of AI, I think AI revolution, I totally agree with everyone's opinion. This is the totally new era. AI revolution is kind of like I would say kind of like to release the manpower, to enhance the manpower, and also transform the manpower in the variety of the industry, and not only industry but also the individuals. For us, however, for us, as a writer, we think artificial intelligence bring tons of the opportunities. For example, because Taiwan we also call as kind of like a Silicon Island. Taiwan is very good at manufacturing, IC design, and semicon, this kind of things. So we have a tons of the talent in the manufacturing. So which means in terms of the artificial intelligence, it can be the software application side, but it also have a hardware development side. So I think nowadays it's very good for any talent or startup who wanted to take use of the artificial intelligence, not just application for hardware, to take use the advantage of the Taiwan to work together for the new era. Especially, we think edge computing, especially edge computing, will be the next era to to focus, not just application, but also not just application, fundamental data structure or language model. We rather than that, we think edge computing in the area, for example, agriculture, healthcare, this kind of thing is the next opportunities. So we are looking for any startup who want to do this, to work with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yanni. I think, yeah, you're right. Edge computing definitely is going to be very, very important. So now, the last but not the least, I would like to invite Rizo An from South Korea, one of the countries I work very, very closely with. Rizo, can we have you on video and introduce yourself and also share about the, yes.
Thank you so much, Nemesis. Thank you for the invite. Nice to meet you, Stefan and Jaime. I'm really feeling honored to be invited into this session. So basically, my company is called The Garrison. We're the Garrison for the foreign startups in South Korea. Our vision is to globalize South Korean startup ecosystem. South Korea is one of those countries that we believe that we've been a one nation, one race, one language for the last 5,000 years. But we had a pretty learning moments throughout the couple of decades that this is not the way that we should be surviving within this ecosystem and the market for next century. So yeah, so my role and job within the ecosystem is to build community of foreign entrepreneurs in South Korea, attracting foreign talents, foreign investors from abroad to Korea, but also to promote South Korean startups to abroad. In a sense of AI, I believe that the .com era has given us given the humanity privilege to learn that collaboration and globalization is the path that we have to take instead of competing and dragging down others. I think the same applies to the AI ecosystem, and through that learnings, especially in South Korea, I'm seeing a lot of global activities of AI startups who are seeking for collaboration and globalizations around the world. Even today, I had a privilege of evaluating 20 South Korean future unicorns. And out of those 20 startups, almost over 85% of them were AI-based tech solutions that in the past, for the last couple of years, if I met AI startups, these were usually focused on the metadatas and the big database, or mobility startups or infrastructure-based AIs. But now I'm seeing much more diversified portfolio of AI startups soon to be present in the global ecosystem. So I really want to leverage this opportunity to be connected with multiple different ecosystems around the world, and also especially LATAM ecosystem, so that I can become the bridge for such entrepreneurs for the not only Latin American, but for the global startup ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you, Riza. I think yes, collaboration and bridging opportunities is what we want to do through this initiative. Now, since we don't have too much time today, and this is the curtain raiser of the TechBridge platform, so I would quickly ask one more question from each of the panelists, and we will follow it up with another longer session very soon. So my question is, I would like to ask Santiago. Santiago, my question is to you. What's your view of the Asian tech ecosystem, and what do you perceive are its strengths and challenges? And if you can quickly talk about it in like a minute, that would be great.
Wonderful. Yes. Well, I'm not an expert on what is going on in Asia by obvious reasons. I have the pleasure to visit India, South Korea, and others, especially South Korea was 2 years ago. And we have a close relation with South Korea. I'm also a former fellowship of COICA. So I'm very connected with South Korea. But bottom line here, I say that there's a lot of opportunities and styles of collaboration. I see how dynamic and how they're leading on biotech, on logistics, and obviously e-commerce. There's big challenges and opportunities also in terms of how they're doing, and they're playing a major role on 5G. The development of 5G is very important, how they are developing smart cities. And that's something that we want to take into consideration how we can build. Colombia has around 9 cities between 500,000 and 9 million, and we are having a new wave on how we can develop smart cities. So all the issues on health, on education, and obviously small, medium-sized companies is an opportunity. We see that also in Asia. We think that the connection, the competition, how we collaborate between digital ecosystems is the opportunity and the challenge right here. So Asia has a very disparity situation between countries, similar to what we have in Latin America. Big countries, big players, small countries, not with the same capacities, but we have different strengths and opportunities that we complement each other. I see that also in terms of how we can develop, and I already mentioned, global development goals. That would be the best business we can develop, how we can integrate these ecosystems to create the solutions and create the tools to achieve that. So bottom line, we are in early stages, for instance, on AI. We have a survey in Andy. We ask our members, and only 20% of our members know and use AI. They know what is AI, but how to use it and how to adapt it, how to appropriately make it happen, that's a challenge. And you see that example all developed in Asia. So we think there is an opportunity, and we can obviously work in terms of how we can develop a more innovative capacity, collaboration, co-creation, and obviously cooperation between these regions are very important. That's my take. Obviously, I'm not an expert in Asia, but we see that in terms of how we can develop. And these are very important space that we just launching here. And I congratulate Stefan and everybody to have this opportunity. That's the first step we can develop.
Thank you so much, Santiago. I think, yeah, we are at the right place at the right time. So now I would like to ask Gary. Gary, can you please share your views about the opportunities in the LATAM tech and innovation landscape that you see? Gary, are you there?
We can't hear you. No. We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Okay.
How
can you...
Now, yes. Now you're back.
Yes.
Right, so I'm back. Thank you. No, for us in the camp, it's really exciting. We've grown our tech team from about we have about 8 people now, and I think the technology that we see, the talent that we see, is probably the biggest difference that we never really realized, and we're very happy to basically get a team that is built up from Argentina, Mexico, Colombia. And I think the beauty of working with the team in LATAM is that they can speak English, and all of them speak Spanish, except for those in Brazil. So it's kind of very interesting to actually be working with some of the very good talent that in the past we seem to go towards more like the Vietnam, and of course in India. But I think that the space in the LATAM market is actually really exciting. for us as well, right? So we actually built up quite a big team in LATAM, and we've used that LATAM team to actually support our so-called 24/7 business model, which is Asia being able to have that tech team, and then LATAM is the team that basically can cater towards what LATAM is doing as well as what US is. So I see the opportunity in growing that market together. And then when it comes to AI, it's really nice to see that it's like fish to water when a lot of the young people in LATAM, they understand the need, they understand the requirement, and very importantly, they embrace it. And to me, working in the LATAM landscape, especially in AgTech, the biggest advantage is that a lot of them have some relationship to farms, their grandparents, their friends, their family. And therefore, to them, in AgTech is something very, very exciting. For people in Singapore, for us, most of us don't know what a farm is. So, when we have technology team building up, we do see things in a little bit distracted way, in the sense we see things mostly in technology. But working with the LATAM team, being closer to the ground, it's really where I see the biggest difference and the insight of how we can actually learn from one another.
Thank you so much, Gary. I think, people make the biggest difference. They truly represent a country and a region, and they shape our experiences. So with that, I will thank you. And quickly, I would like to ask Devanil, I know, with your experience, it's not easy, but if in a minute you can tell us that what you think about the initiatives and strategies that can bring the ecosystems of Asia and Latin America closer and together. Devanil, are you there?
Thanks, Nemo. Can you hear me? Yeah. So I guess from my lens, I see a lot of similarities and collaboration possible between LATAM and particularly Southeast Asia. And so I guess there are many areas where they are around the same level of maturity curve, as well as there are areas where one is ahead of the other, from resulting in the other learning from one learning from the other. A typical scenario could be like, a Mexican fintech partners with a Singaporean fintech accelerator to expand its operations in Southeast Asia. A Brazilian agri-tech startup collaborating with a Vietnamese agri-research institute to develop a new crop variety to improve farming practices. Maybe a Chilean healthcare provider partners with Philippine technology company to develop AI-powered diagnostic tools. For all these to happen, I guess there is a couple of things that will be required at a macro level. First and foremost being the bilateral agreements and initiatives at government to government levels, as well as non-government organizations, joint research projects and initiatives, as well as private initiatives like the kind of thing today we are all on this TechBridge. And thanks to Latin Leap and to Stefan particularly for bringing every one of us together. And then there are cross-border initiatives that promote technology transfers as well as investing opportunities, familiarizing people from one part of the world to the other part in terms of how to navigate these destinations. Particularly given the fact that most of the world population growth now is going to come from LATAM and from Africa, with Asia now going to seize up with India as well as China not going to produce. And much of the new genre of Latin consumers are going to be alpha generation. So there will be a very different breed. So it's a very exciting time. And I guess AI will play a very important role in making these happen. And we'll see how it goes around. We are now coming to almost the last lap of this kind of collaboration, which is at very early stages, but has a huge, deep pocket to go forward with.
Thank you so much, Devanil. That is definitely very important. The maturity curves that are very, very steep, and the bilateral relations that you talked about government-led and private-led initiatives. So with that, I'll thank you. And I would request Yani, because she works very closely with the government in Taiwan and also multiple other Asian governments, that how do you think the non-governmental open innovation create bridges? Would you like to share any examples of how collaboration between two regions have happened in a private sort of an setup?
Thank you, Nemo. I especially like this question. This is a very, very, very good question, because I think open innovation, especially for the AI, is very important for the two regions. Because for example, I just came back from the Silicon Valley last week, and we went together with the government agency and also some local Taiwanese startups, and we explore the opportunities. And what I learned from this trip is I believe that every region, every country, even every city has its advantages. So we don't have to, especially to probably not a good word, to envy others. However, we have our advantage. For example, Taiwan, although we are very small island, small population, we have a very good, for example, semiconductor industry. We are very good in the agriculture and also healthcare, and also a very deep a culture of the Chinese. So I will say the open innovation can be into for example 3 areas. For the private sector or even the public sector or even the private sector to work together for example in the form of the bilateral tech forums or innovation summit, to talking about the knowledge sharing of the advantage of the both sides, like Asia and also Latin America, and also to showcase the startups. How I will personally, I believe the startups in different regions has its specialty, the unique, especially for example, if I will say what is the interesting startups in Taiwan, that will be especially with the high technology, technology especially applied in the manufacturing, because Taiwan is especially good at this. But for example, in Latin America, probably will be in the agriculture or the financing in different ways. I mean, the financing techniques in Latin America probably different from the Asia side. So second part, I think it will be good to have a showcasing of startups. And the most important is to exploring the joint ventures. For example, because as accelerators or investors, what we do sometimes like a daily life. Daily life is to explore the startup opportunities in different countries, to join the event in different countries. Some there are some big one. However, event is just a start, but what is important is to explore the opportunity between the two sides. Maybe we can have a technologies from the one country and take the markets in different countries, this kind of things, or business model applicable in Taiwan, but probably not work in Latin America. And the culture also a very important issues. So that is what I think is a lot of things we can do together, and that is just 3 suggestions to the people from the both side to explore the opportunity for the near future to work together. One more is suggestion will be something like exchange programs, especially for the exchange programs for the startups, or to explore the crowdsourcing of the ideas. For example, I think execution is always the key. However, ideas is also very important. However, some of the idea is applicable in Taiwan,
but sometimes it's not applicable in Taiwan, but it is a good idea in Latin America. So our crowdsourcing idea is also a things I think the both sides can.
Definitely, and I got your point, but in the interest of time, I think the next session we will continue this discussion, and I would just ask Rizo to give
long time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yanni. Rizo, your last comments on the strengths of building cross-border communities. Can you talk about it in a minute, and then we wrap up?
Within a minute, I'll try to kill it. Okay, so South Korea is having the fastest population decline in the human history, annually breaking a new record. And the fact is that annually, South Korea is consuming about 100,000 foreign students to come into Korea to sustain the existing university infrastructures. Annually, so far, we're 120,000 students short. Within the next decade, we're going to be 1 million short, which means on the talent market, we're always having a shortage, especially on the tech talents for the institutional recruitments. So one of the South Korean government is doing right now is to set up a partnership with the Vietnamese academia to bring in about 10 to 30,000 tech talents to Korea directly, so that they can make a kind of tech transfer in between two countries by talents. Actually, Colombia and Korea, our relationship has been already proven. Latin America and Korea, our relationship also proven. My very close friend in Korea, she's a Colombian entrepreneur who's operating in Korea. She's very successful. She's currently a head of Chamber of Commerce of Colombia in Korea. She's doing most of the projects based on the manufacturings, port and maritime projects, cross-border KOICA projects between Korea and Colombia. And also, like, she's engaging in different Latin American projects, which means I think the possibility of cooperation has been already validated through the different domain of the industries. And I think it's only a matter of time that we can collaborate in the sphere of AI and tech talents. And the best part for Korea and Latin America to collaborate and mutually beneficial will be the academic side of the industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rizo. And I think it's all across LATAM and APAC that we will be collaborating through this initiative. So thank you so much for your time. And I would ask Jaime to please come and give the concluding remarks. Jaime, over to you.
Thanks, Nimo. Amazing panel. I mean, we need more time for this. Amazing ideas, amazing thoughts to share. We need to collaborate together. So remember, TechBridge is your catalyst for cross-continental growth, innovation, and technological advancement. Please go to latinleap.vc/techbridge to see us and start the conversation. Thanks for the panelists. Thanks for Stefan. Thanks for Nimo. See you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening and good rest of your day. Thank you for joining.